Kumbaya, my lord.
What?
Nothing. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go before the Lord.
Let's go for the king. It's AJ
and Darah. Here we are, Skydiving.
Yeah.
Deep skydiving, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Deep Skydiving.
Oh, she got it. Go ahead.
I don't know. That's
Go ahead,
not
do
really.
it again. I missed it.
I don't have much more than that.
Oh, all right.
So, deep skydiving.
Deep skydiving. Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. We just thank you right now for this time again, Father, for a new day.
Thank you, Lord.
Even for this day, Father, this beautiful Sunday, this Father's Day, another day to honor you as our eternal Father. And we thank you for the fathers that you've given us here on this earth in this lifetime.
Thank you, Lord.
And most importantly, we thank you for love, Father. We thank you for your love for us and that you exemplified a perfect love that we may exemplify the same thing here on earth, Father. Allow us to have compassion on people and forgiveness. Let us forgive. And let us just have joy in this time. Let us do all things that we do. Everything we do, let it be filtered through you, Father. Let you be our foundation, that everything we do, everything we speak, everything we think, it may be filtered through you, Father, and be done to your glory. Just have your way at this time, even with this episode. Let it be informative. Let it be encouraging. Let us speak with clarity, Father. And let us, we're not perfect. We know we're not perfect. We don't claim to be. But we just want to do your will in our life, Father. And we want to be a help to our community, Father. We thank you for the relationship that you've given us with you and the relationship that you've given us with each other, Father. Thank you that we can love each other effectively. And I just thank you for the love that she gives me, Father. I bless your name, and it's in your precious name, Yahushua name. I ask you all these things.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Welcome back, guys. Another episode of Deep Skydiving. Still got to get that recorded. I say that every time.
I know. You just might as well just.
And I be thinking about it, and I be like, "What I'm gonna do this on? Like, are they really ready?
Are they ready?
Yeah.
Nah, they ain't. The world ain't ready for you.
Nah, I'm gonna hit y'all with that garage band one day. So what's up? I'm Darah.
You tell me. I'm AJ.
How you?
I'm beautiful. How you?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Ain't gonna do you no good.
I mean, I could, but you know.
Ain't gonna do you no good anyway.
I'm happy to be back, though. We missed that last week, and it always seems like it's a very long time, right?
It definitely felt like a very long time.
Yeah. It's all right. We're back. I had to go holler at my people in Chicago. What up, y'all? My god baby graduated from high school. Hi, god baby. Love you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and then she also went on prom, so now it's time for the real world.
That was all in one weekend? Prom and congratulations?
Yeah, prom was on...
I said prom and congratulations.
Congratulations. Prom was on Thursday, and then graduation was Saturday.
All right, cool. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I just had to make sure that I celebrated her. But here we are on a different episode. This one is in regards to proper ways of communication.
Proper techniques of communication, yes. Yeah. And this one was your topic.
It was mine.
So usher us on in.
Well, so first I'll say why I chose this topic. Cool. The reason why I chose this topic is because I feel that, one, we've heard over and over again as adults that communication is key.
Yes.
And I do believe that's the case. The thing that I don't believe is that a lot of adults know how to properly communicate. Mm-hmm. And we'll get down to like what I really feel, but that's just that's just one of those things. Like I feel like there are always ways of telling people how to better communicate with you. Yes. I think it's also very subjective. Like there are things that are paramount, right? Like there are things that like everybody needs to know. Like I like me looking you in your eye when I talk to you. I feel like that's something that I learned very early. Mm-hmm. I don't think everybody does it, but there is a level of miscommunication that can happen if you don't look at somebody in the eyes.
I think that has something to do with other than like trying to effectively communicate and everything.
Right. But I do feel like it's a form of effective communication.
Oh, definitely.
Or something that should be added to that. Mm-hmm. So when I was thinking of that topic, I was like, because it's not to say that I'm like an expert on it. It's just one of those things that if that is the key, then we should spend a lot of time talking about it, right?
So it might be more than one episode today?
No, I just mean I don't think that you could get enough episodes of talking about how to properly or effectively communicate.
I think that's probably something that's like ever going.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So I know you said that you had a definition of communication, and I do not. So
I said that?
Yeah. Lay it on us.
Oh, you just confident that I...
You do.
All right.
I believe you.
All right. All right, so definition of communication, what I found, says the exchange of thoughts, messages, or information as by speech, signals, writing, or behavior. And I love that definition.
Me too. Covers all the grounds.
All of them.
Yeah. Do you feel like you properly communicate?
I don't know. So what is properly? Do I feel like I effectively communicate?
Okay, let's use effective.
Majority of the time I do. I believe I do.
All right.
And I have a... Go ahead. Because I think we might get to that. I'm about to say I have an issue of... we'll get to it. But I think when I communicate, like, I think I might sometimes tend to over communicate because I want to make sure that the person, I don't like explaining myself, but I think I don't like more when somebody is not understanding me.
Well, that's interesting because that actually is in my notes. Like that is one of my things is over communication.
All right, so let's
which
go.
It's in doing my research, I found that like there are some places that say like over communication is too much, and there are some resources that you could go to that say that over communication is actually effective because your whole thing is making sure that the person understands. Like when you talk to people, you're not talking just so that they can respond, like you're speaking so that they can are you okay?
Yeah. I just picked up a frequency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're speaking so that they can understand you.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like in over communicating, what I hear you saying is that you do it so that the other person can really understand you, and that's how I do too. I just want to like mull it down, like you know what I mean, to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
So that you can get it.
So you can get it right.
Yeah.
Or go ahead because we gonna get into more too. But you was about to say something.
No, I was gonna say. A lot of times, like when I think about the essence of communication, I think about language. And you tell me where in the Bible God gave everybody like these different tongues and like separated them.
Tower of Babel.
The Tower of Babel, because they were trying to basically construct the tower that was so high that they could reach where God was, right?
Yeah.
So I brought that up because I feel like in communication, right? Because it was saying that everybody got like their own language, like,
Yes.
But I think that the importance of language in communication is that you are to basically find out what is the lowest common denominator, whereas you're speaking something, I'm speaking something, and we can come together and get the thing done.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like setting a foundation.
Yeah.
So both of y'all will understand where each other's coming from.
And I think
for the
about
sake of whatever.
Back in the day, before you had translate, like Google Translate, like before you had, dictionaries and things like that, like they still had to do stuff. They still like, when the Spaniards came here, or when the Europeans went to the Africa and things like that, like they had to communicate. So we're talking about.
And how did they do that when they were speaking different languages? Right.
Boom. So actually, that's one of my questions, and I want to make sure that we like double back to it. But two questions that I basically came up with while I was doing my research and stuff involved that, right? But I think it's more difficult because as far as this podcast is concerned, we speak English.
Yes.
But see if you can follow me. See if you can follow me when I asked it. So I said, and they're probably the same question, but I said, how do we address the part when we are speaking two different languages? And I don't actually mean English and Russian. Let me say the other question. How do we properly communicate if the basis of our understanding is completely different?
See.
Right. So basically what I'm saying is you and I both speak English. We both know
exactly
words.
what you're saying, but I was saying yes.
I know. In Spanish. I know.
No, but I was saying yes wasn't a proper answer to that question.
Well, I mean, I took it as like you saying like doggone right. Like, you know what I mean? No?
No, I was being funny. Just ask your question again. The first one. Nah, because watch, it's going to make sense.
How do we address the part when we are speaking two different languages? You said C.
Yes.
That's what I
That means we both
considered.
had two opposite understandings of your question because I answered it with an incorrect answer.
But it wasn't though. To me, and
And
that's
there
why
it is
we're
again.
talking about
Yeah.
the difference in language.
See, yeah.
Because to me, I took that as you saying like, yeah,
I'm
like that's a
riding
good
with you.
question.
I'm here. I got you. Yeah.
Like I get that. Like yeah. Anyway, but that's
Perfect
good. I'm glad that you did
example
that.
of
I'm glad that you did that.
Even in that response, and what you took from it and what I meant is the same.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So that's something that I find myself getting into trouble with a lot because I find that sometimes I intend for something to mean something else than the person receives it.
Yeah.
So my question to you, just based off of what I just said, do you think what do you think is more important, the way a person receives it, the way that you intended it?
I don't think there's something that's more important. I think both of them like weigh the same. I think they weigh equal.
Okay. I mean, can you further?
All right. So you asked this question, right? Can I go here? All right. So let's for setting the foundation. We're only talking about effective communicating, not just communicating in general, right? So,
No. I mean, I feel like it's a part whole thing.
All right. So we know communication is just the back and forth of
The transaction.
boom.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about and what we're trying to encourage is effective communicating for the betterment of relationships and dealings. So when I was thinking about this, I had came to the notion, this might not be for everybody. I know people, that's incorrect, this and that. I'm not generalizing everybody, but I will say like the majority of people, like communicating may be the most unconscious, selfish act that we commit.
Okay. Give me.
You said it. One of them you said because one I said I feel like we communicate only what and how we want to really. Oh my bad. I said I feel like we communicate only what and how we want to, without really focusing on first whether or not the person we're communicating to can understand it or even understands it at all.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'm communicating how I want to communicate to you, and what I want to communicate to you, based on how I know to communicate. But in order for me to know that you're receiving it, I first have to understand how you receive information.
Exactly.
But I feel like we don't do that.
No.
Like, especially with us being humans, being emotional beings and everything, how we communicate is, what's the word I want to, it's like, it's not something we think about, it's something that we just do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying is to effectively communicate, it can't be something that you just do. It has to be something that you put thought towards. Meaning I have to say, all right, do I really understand how Darah receives? So let me deliver it this way. Just like when I sent you the text and I was like, oh, that sound bad. Let me rephrase that. When I was like, I wouldn't really want to do that because of such and such. When I sent the text, I realized, I said, oh, that doesn't sound good. So I had to clear it up with a following text saying, not saying that I don't trust their judgment.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? And so I really had to
put yourself in my shoes.
Right.
Right. Do you think that it's possible always to do that if you don't know the person who you're communicating with?
I think you learn that through communicating. So that's why I said I feel like sometimes I over communicate, and that's why I said I don't like explaining myself. I'm really mostly explaining myself to people who don't know me that well.
Okay.
And so I know a lot of things I say can come off as arrogant or he thinks he knows everything or something. But really, you're just not seeing it from my perspective. And so because I have those kind of interactions a lot, I understand that most people don't see things the way I see it. And so I have to over-explain myself, like breaking it down, like this is where I'm coming from with this. Instead,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I still feel like even in that, there's still like a selfishness because of the fact that you're still like you're trying to consider the other person, but you can't. It's some things that you're just not going to be able to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is why going back to my question of where the intention or the reception is more important. I think your answer was a proper one. I just don't think that that's how people go about it.
What?
I think that a lot of times the way people receive, people put more weight on the way in which they receive something than they do the way the person intended it.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, but I can understand why, right? And like you said, though, what we don't consider though is that we have a funnel that other person's words are going through.
Right.
So, again, like we were reading about in the Four Agreements, I know that there are some people who, in their heart of hearts, somebody has told them, growing up that they were dumb. So a part of them thinks that they're dumb, right? You can call them ugly. You can call them, unkind. You can say that they're not graceful, and they might laugh. But if somebody calls them dumb because they already have that funnel has already been dented, then it would hurt them in a different way, or they're not going to be able to receive it, even if the intention was, I'm just playing with you, like dog, like I call everybody dumb.
There's already something there that's soft in them, and
and that's the reason why intention doesn't have a chance.
Yeah,
intention really does not get considered.
I got you.
Yeah, it's really about the way in which a person receives it. So that's why I say, so if I'm a person who's trying to effectively communicate, if I even can, I honestly don't think that you have a leg to stand on. It's not.
Because if I don't know
but that's how we as human beings operate.
Yeah. See, that's funny you say that. Because I say it's equal, right? Mm-hmm. Because I just hit on the person that's speaking part, and you hit me with the person that's listening, that's receiving part, right? So I think what I'm about to say complements exactly what you said. And I said, I feel like we listen with hearts that only want to be right.
Yeah.
And if something is communicated that opposes it, then we immediately take offense rather than trying to understand the opposing view.
Right.
So if you say I'm dumb and something in my heart is triggered, I'm already like,
yep.
Instead
Shut
of like,
down.
instead of like, was he joking? Was it? Yeah. So.
Okay. So, I'm so glad you said that, because in my research, one thing that I did find was that I can't remember where I got this from, but the source said that you have to anticipate questions and objections and respond wisely. Mm-hmm. Like when you communicate anything for real, you have to anticipate questions and opposition and respond wisely. And sometimes I think that's the part that gets lost, right? Because a lot of times I anticipate questions, but I don't know that I always respond wisely. Yeah. Because one way of responding wisely to somebody's objections or, questions is to not respond at all.
Or that could be passive.
It could be, but it also could be wise.
Could be. Mm-hmm. If you ain't got nothing good to say to it.
Yeah. Because everybody's questions or objections are not always conducive to them finding out what you are actually trying to say. Sometimes it's, they're saying something in jest.
So you just redirect.
Right. You could if you are still there. Because sometimes.
You check out.
Exactly.
Like
sometimes
you find
I'll
out
say
a person's
something.
mental capacity ain't there. You're like, never mind.
Yep. I'll be woo wop da bam, and then I'm out. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Like I don't have it. Like there's nothing more for me to say. I've said what I had to say. Have a wonderful night. But then there are some times where I welcome the questions because, and this was also an interesting part of the source the same source was saying that you have to be very clear yourself on what it is that you're trying to say.
Right.
And that's something that's I oftentimes, struggle with, not all the time. No. I struggle with it because sometimes I'll know what I want to say, but I don't always know how to say it.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, but sometimes I'll just let it out, and then it's like, ooh, I lost myself somewhere, but I'm still talking. Yeah.
I think we all do that.
Yeah. But those times I want people to like ask me questions. So do you understand? Mm-hmm. I even ask you sometimes, like today when I text you and I said if it's cool. Yeah. I didn't mean in a sense that it would be a problem for you, but I wanted you to know that like if there's anything that you have to add, like please do. Like this is just like here.
You was considering.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
I think you excel in that. The second thing I said, like, if we listen with our hearts, we only want to be right. Like, I feel like that's what we do.
mm-hmm.
And I said, if something is communicated that opposes it, which is our heart, what our heart is telling us, then we immediately take offense rather than trying to figure out what that person is saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you excel in that, because if something does take offense, I mean, if something does trigger your heart, you don't automatically, well, not with me at least, I haven't experienced, you don't automatically like put up the shield. You'll ask.
Yes,
Like,
because I think it's because of experience.
yeah,
Which most of the stuff I do is from experience.
of course.
Yeah, like I feel like there have been so many times where I've said something to someone and I know how I mean it. I know what I'm trying to say. I know what came out of my mouth. And it was just completely turned into something completely different. And I'm just like, sometimes I even be like, wait, did I say that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Some people don't have the maturity level to like not take offense.
absolutely. And then you can't, again, responding wisely, right?
Yeah.
Like if somebody is to take something that you said the wrong way, do you have to be mad at it? At the fact that they're mad?
Yeah.
Because they're okay. I mean, you can, like, you're opening a door, so you don't know what's gonna come through.
I think it depends on your relationship
That's
with
true.
that person.
That's true.
So,
And I've been in a number of those conversations where it's like, how you get that from what I said?
right.
Because you always, and it's like,
But there's
maybe.
a fine line of like being insensitive with that also. Like,
Yeah.
you know that's not what you meant, but that's how they took it.
Yeah.
And so now you have to consider their feelings on how they took it.
Which is very
rather
hard.
than stand on your, well, that's not how I said it.
Right.
Because that like adds more fuel to the fire.
Agreed. I absolutely agree. So do you have any tips or anything to give as far as like things that you know about effective communication?
Man, we all figuring this thing out.
I think so too.
I think we just have to oppose what I said. Like, when you're speaking to somebody, you really pay attention. So the definition said the exchange of thoughts, messages, or information as by speech, signals, writing, or behavior. So when you're speaking to somebody, there's more than just verbal
right.
that's speaking back at you.
Right.
So you can almost tell when if you're paying attention to them. If you're just talking just to be talking, you're not paying attention to them.
Right.
But when you're speaking to somebody, you could tell whether they're receiving it and how they're receiving it.
Yes.
So you just got to pay attention to that. And like, so if I'm looking at you and I could see you tensing up about something, I'm like, hold up. She might be, I'm hitting something that I'm not trying to hit. Let me ease up and reroute. You know, let me explain it a little differently or something. But you got to be paying attention to the person that you're communicating with.
Agreed.
And when you're the listener, when you're the receiver, you know, don't let your first reaction be one of a defensive one, as if somebody's taking offense to you. I like what you said. I can't remember what episode it was where you was like, I don't automatically think people are trash.
No.
Like, you don't automatically think that somebody is attacking you or something. And you just got to get out of that mindset. Like, if somebody says something that opposes your original idea or thought, don't think that that person is attacking you. For one, it's almost 8 billion people in this world. There's nobody that thinks alike.
Thank you, AJ. And I really feel like people forget that. Everybody doesn't have to agree with everything that you say.
Right.
As a matter of fact, if you lived in a world where everyone agrees with everything that you say, you probably need to check yourself.
Or you just ain't living on Earth, because it ain't no, it's nowhere
No,
hell
seriously, because it means that you're being a chameleon too, though.
Yeah.
Because you know those are there are people
everybody.
like that, who like everybody like agrees with them, like every room that they're in, you know, it's, you know, oh, I agree with that. No, sometimes you're not going to agree with what I say.
That's like literally impossible, because nobody could come in here and agree with everything both of us say, because we have opposing views on some things.
Exactly.
So it's no way like, hold up, what are you doing here? Like,
right.
Yeah, that's still impossible.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If you live life long enough, you'll find somebody who don't believe in nothing that you believe in.
All you gotta do is live for one day interacting with people.
And that's okay. Yeah. That's what I guess you were saying.
That's
and then
the thing,
that's also
right?
what
Yeah.
I say. Like,
right.
You know, like I, at the end of the day, like even after doing all the research and everything, it just came down to grace for me. Like, we really don't grant each other enough grace.
Right.
In conversing with one another. Like, obviously, there are going to be things that you get wrong from me. There's obviously going to be something that you take the wrong way. I do feel like there are people who are malicious, right? But again, like I told you, my initial thought is not that you're trash. But we'll get to it if you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have the opportunity to show to show that you are.
Yeah.
But I think that the grace is in allowing people to show up the way that they're going to show up, instead of me being something don't look right. You know what I mean? Like, red flagging off bucks instead of allowing somebody to show you who they really are.
Right.
What did you write down?
I wanted to say that for later. That's why I said.
Okay. So since you don't have any, like bullet points, I'll just some things that I pulled. Obviously, everybody has tips and tricks and all this other stuff, right?
And we welcome all of them. Share.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
We're not. Let me say this, because for some reason on the internet, everybody thinks like, you're not a therapist. You don't have the right to diagnose anybody, or who made you a professional, or this and that. Nobody's saying anything. We're not like the professionals. We're not the experts at communication. Like, I'm not trying to tell somebody like, this is how you need to communicate. What we're throwing out is ideas, like things that we've experienced to help one better communicate. If you find a different way, then by all means,
that's it.
Do it, and share it. Like, so be mad at us because we want to help people.
Somebody said we thought we was professionals.
People, yeah.
That's cute.
Leave that to leave that the diagnosis to professional therapist or something. Whatever. I don't know.
That. I do. I love that. I mean, because
but they didn't understand.
It hits a chord.
For one, it did hit a chord. A couple of clips did, because it's just all they see is the clips. The funny thing is this, right? I see their comments and what they're saying, and they were saying the exact same things we were saying, but they just don't know it because all they see is the clip, and that was not what was before it or what was after it. And so I just say, go watch the episode.
God bless y'all.
Yeah.
Honestly. Okay. So moving right along. Listening is key to communicating, but listening to understand, not to respond. We know that.
Right.
When I have conversations with you and you have conversations with me, I think we're both listeners anyway, like in general. Like, obviously we can talk, we can speak, but I think both of us really, like, even in my peer groups, like, you know what I mean? Like, outside of you, like, I am usually the one that's downloading.
Yeah.
So we know that. Body language is probably the most important form of communication. How do you feel about that?
I agree.
I absolutely agree.
Are you conscious of your body language?
I am.
Me too.
I'm conscious of most things that are going on with my body. Only reason why, though, is because I always, like, I live my life as if somebody is watching.
Right.
And I know God is, so that's probably why.
And everybody else.
Yeah. And, like, God know me like don't nobody else know me, and nobody ever will, right? But because there's certain things I would do, alone with God watching that I couldn't do because I'm trying to take the other person into consideration who's around me. But I always do try to, respond and communicate based off of the fact that somebody else is watching. And it doesn't mean that I do it right every time either. Yeah, ain't nobody saying that. It's just, that's the way I go about life.
Yeah, my body language, I'm not saying I get it right all the time. Definitely don't. But I'm definitely, like, especially depending on the type of conversation it is, I'm definitely more aware of my body language.
Me too.
Like, I use
arms.
I use my hands a lot. Yeah, I move my arms and everything. Like, sometimes it'd be real animated with my voice and with my hands and everything. But when it's like, when I'm being serious with somebody, like, to a point that there might be confrontation or anything, I always have my hands like this.
What's that mean?
So I'm not, I can't have my hands moving because it would seem like some kind of threat or something.
Okay.
Your focus is going to be on this because my tone is already stern. I already have like a deep raspy voice and everything, and people know my character. So when I'm not joking around and everything, like, a lot of people think I'm already mean. Like, some people just already think I'm mean. Everybody at my job, before they got to know me, they already think I'm mean. So I understand that your first impression of me is kind of standoffish because you don't know if I'm the type of person that want to be dealt with. So I know I already had that.
Too,
see,
when I first met you.
No coincidence. I think 100% of people automatically think that. That dude just told me the other day at work. He said, I ain't like you at first. He said, so I ain't like you at first. he just now started getting cool with me. I was about to say he just now liked me, but I ain't. He just now started getting cool with me the day before yesterday.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, he was just like, man, I ain't like you at first, man. I thought you were a little angry little joker with it. I'm like, why you think that? Mm-hmm. But I guess my appearance just always, so I have to work on that also. But it's been like that forever. Mm-hmm. Even when I opened up and started talking and joking around more, for some reason when I'm not doing that, I still look like I'm angry, sure angry dude. Mm-hmm. But I just have a serious posture. And so what I'm saying is when I'm talking to somebody and it's like a serious conversation or I might be addressing something, I always go like this just so they know I'm not coming at them all for some, yeah, nigga, what's up?
Right.
Type thing or whatever. So I'm always aware of my body posture. Like, I don't turn at a slight angle, put your foot back, or drop your hands. Yeah, like, because you don't even have to be a fighter or anything to peep that.
Right.
Your posture, your stance, your whole aura gives off confrontation. And so I'm aware of that. Everybody will be aware of that. Mm-hmm. Like nobody, I think that's like something that's just innate in us.
Yeah.
Or either you just deaf, dumb, and stupid or blind if you can't pick up on that. Mm-hmm. But I'm just always conscious of that so that I'm not like opposing some kind of threat or to let somebody know like I'm not coming from a malicious place or anything.
And a lot of people I hear speaking, and I don't know, I can't categorize people as shy necessarily, but a lot of people that I know, when they come into a room that they're not familiar with, the first thing that they do is observe it.
You said you think that's what a lot of people do?
Some people, like what I'm saying is I've when in conversation I've heard like a lot of people say like when I come into a room that I'm not familiar with, I'm looking around like I'm
100%. That's what I'm doing. I know a couple people who they come in because of the type of people they are,
and they just go, yeah. I know those people too. Yeah, I'm not that.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm not that. And I only bring that up because I feel like those people are very conscious of what's going on around them, and it helps them to be able to communicate effectively if they are to communicate, because some people just don't like that. I don't have any desire to speak. I'm not that person.
I think mine came from, I don't think like I was originally like this. I don't think I was like this as a kid. I think mine came from what I experienced in life. And so I had to, a lot of my friends a lot of my old friends from the neighborhood, you know, they are laughy, jokey, playing around, you know, they anywhere we go, a lot of them could be cool with other people and this and that, but we had problems with other people also. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like I had to be the one that was being cognizant of everything around them. And I was like, man, I don't understand how y'all dudes are so loose.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know these people.
Yeah.
So, and that, just growing up like that, it just trickled over into my adult life. Yeah. And it's something that I work out of. Like, if I go somewhere with you, because I know who you are, I know your character, I know you're not around a bunch of nonsense. Mm-hmm. When I walk into a room, I could I intentionally make myself open. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have no problem, you know, smiling, hey, what's up, this and that, such and such, because I'm with you. Mm-hmm. If I'm with somebody else, like, if I'm with my brother, I'm not expecting
you on the lookout.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a
protection.
Right.
Yeah. And that makes sense. But I feel like you're still reading the room, even with you observing who you're with. Yeah. Like, you're still reading the room. But just going back to the behavioral part, that was part of the communication anyway. Mm-hmm. The way in which you act, the way in which you physically show up when you are doing that sort of transactional thing. I've said wonderful things with only my body. That sounded really sexual. I did not.
That's why I didn't respond, because my mind was
but
like...
But I saw the edges of your mouth curl a little bit, like the Grinch. Like, no, but I really didn't mean it in a sexual way. I mean, you know, that's fair, right?
Yeah,
for you to...
You don't talk like that, so I know you didn't. But
yeah,
I'm a man.
But it's... Yeah, and it ends, you know, I'm in the innuendos. But in that sense, I'm just saying, like, I am very aware of what my body is doing. So a lot of times, like, that's exactly what, like, you caught it. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what I wanted you to get. Don't come over here. I'm not looking at you intentionally because I don't want you to approach me.
There's so much with that behavior piece.
So much. Like, that could be a whole thing itself.
It's so much. Yeah, like doing silent treatments,
Oh God.
Like pouting, like
that just triggered me.
yeah,
I
like
don't
subliminal
silent
pout,
treatments.
yeah, subliminal physical pouts and everything, like throwing little body fists, like when people just throwing stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Like that, the behavior is telling you something. It's communicating something to you, but
When somebody just hauls off and slaps the hell out of you, because that's a behavior as well.
it's never really happened to me.
That's a communication as well.
No, I did get slapped once before in middle school by this girl.
Somebody slapped you.
Yeah, she slapped the daylight out
But
of me.
punched, kicked, like bite, like again, those are forms of communication.
Yeah, all of it is.
Mm-hmm. I don't do that though. Like I don't think it's cool for you to put your hands on nobody.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Not first, at least.
Right. Like I met this dude.
Unless you defend yourself.
Right, but I met this dude today. He was like, he had a girlfriend who, he said he was out there and she just punched him in the eye.
What?
And his doctor was like, "You're not going back to her, are you?" Like, and I was like, "Well, she was communicating that you can't do that anymore." But he was like, he wanted to, rough her up, but he didn't. But I'm saying that to say,
that's a tough one.
Yeah. I'm saying that because I was like, I can understand why you would react the way in which you did and want to like blow her eye out too. But I only feel like because I feel like you shouldn't touch anybody. Like keep your hands to yourself. But anyway,
that makes me think.
What?
Because I was in a relationship with a person
who was physical.
No, well, so this is what happened. This is what happens when you pay attention to communication. Like the arguments started escalating. Mm-hmm. And so I'm paying attention to everything. I'm paying attention to your words and especially if I'm talking to you with a calm tone and I'm just trying to speak facts and understandings. I'm trying to understand where you come from. And you're just mad and you're hauling off cuss words and you're this and that and your pitch of your voice keeps getting high and you just over talking me and everything. It goes from throwing stuff and everything. And then now it's holes in the walls and things being destroyed, and now it escalates to the point where, all right, first it was just going back and forth. Now you're yelling, cussing at me. Mm-hmm. Now you're throwing things. With this with your track record of communication is telling me, is this soon you're going to put your hands on me. It's going to get physical. Mm-hmm. And at that point in time, I had to leave before
to that point.
But yeah,
that's smart. Yeah, I definitely would clock that too.
Yeah.
And you can tell those people who are ragers, like they just really don't have any control over their anger. But did you have any more to add as far as like behavioral communication?
Oh man, there's so much with.
Did you want to hit on silence? What did you?
Let's hit on the good side. So like so children do this, right? Mm-hmm. If a child does something and it makes you laugh, they'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what's in kids that they want to be entertaining or whatever. So like they'll go like this, like they'll pluck something, they see you laugh, and they'll laugh with you. They'll pluck it again. So as adults, I think we do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So like that's why if you see some comedians or just regular people, like if they'll say something that'll make you laugh, they'll just keep piling on top of that thing to make you laugh. Like, and say I buy you iPhone 14 or something, and I see your physical response to it, like you have so much joy. Whatever it is that I got you, you just have so much joy. Like what you're communicating to me is like this may be your love language, and I need to pay attention to that. Like, and then I'm going to keep trying to do things to
keep my iPhones,
keep you to keep you happy. You under 14?
Is it coming out?
I don't know.
Oh. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. And going back to what we were talking about earlier with the kids, just seeking pleasure, like just wanting to, like I want to laugh, I want to eat all the sweet things, like I'm just seeking pleasure. So that makes sense that you would want to do something over and over just to have that sort of feeling that
because your behavior is telling me like this is good, and so I want to see you good. I want to keep what we have good, and so it lets me know how to communicate back to you.
Mm-hmm. Very, very, very interesting. Let's see what else I would have to add to that. I think that's good.
All right,
because body language you can go all day.
Yeah.
You speak to help the other person. So like we kind of touched on that earlier.
You said speak to help them.
To help the other person.
Right, what you mean?
So when you are talking to someone, you're usually talking to someone for them to understand. So talking at them, that's not speaking to help them. Talking as if they know like everything that's going on, that doesn't help. But speaking to them with like almost like you're an aide, like, and not, the cat will, no, it's like if I have something that I want to communicate to you, then I want to be able to make sure that whatever it is, you really understand it.
Right.
So I'm speaking according, like it's certain words that I just wouldn't use with you because you may not know those words. I'm going to use words that I know that you understand.
You trying to call me stupid?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
But it's certain words that I wouldn't want, like, okay, perfect example, because you're from here. Now, I've been here for 20 years, but there are certain slang terms even that you just used in your neighborhood. So you using those terms, to me, I feel like we've talked about that before. How there are certain words that y'all use and you're like, you would know what it is because that we only use that in my neighborhood. Like you would say it, but certain people, they don't do that.
A lot of times because I created the word or somebody around the way created the word. Like,
but there are some people who would just say the word and like keep it moving.
You know what's funny? And some people know what I'm saying.
Even though
and
they
never heard it before.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes you can give people an opportunity, but I think what that is saying is just like, help them. Like if we're having a candid comedy, sort of situation, conversation, then use the slang because I'm gonna think it's funny. Yeah. But if you really want to like drive home a point, then you're not helping me by using your own slang because I don't know it.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just comes out because that's how I talk. That's
but
my
helping
vernacular.
You wouldn't be you never.
But context clues too, though.
That too.
So like what going skinny is?
Naked.
No.
No. What's going skinny? Without heat.
Without heat.
Without a gun.
No.
What's going skinny?
Nah, so how I use it, if I say the sentence, you're going to get it.
Okay, say it.
So let me make a sentence where I know you'll get it.
Okay.
So if I'm talking to my men, I'll be like, that's because y'all niggas keep going skinny. But if I'm talking to you, I'll be like, he caught something because he kept going skinny and putting all these girls.
Got it. Okay. So without being wrapped up.
Yeah.
Okay. No rubbers.
Right, no rubbers.
No rubbers. Okay, cool.
And spaghetti, you know what spaghetti is?
Limp.
No. That's a neighborhood thing that we used to use too.
What is
so
spaghetti?
Like he'd be like, man, she's spaghetti.
Oh, like wet?
No. See, it's funny because nobody would get it unless you was one of us from our neighborhood and everything. Mm-hmm. Like when he say she's spaghetti, it don't even make sense, but it just means like she easy, like she ready.
Oh, spaghetti is easy though. And it makes sense, but out of context, I wouldn't.
We didn't even think of it like that.
Spaghetti is very easy.
My man be like, bro, she's spaghetti. Mm-hmm. That mean like anybody could go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, don't be spaghetti. Okay, so speak to help the other person. Think before you speak. That seems like something that you learn when you are younger. Mm-hmm. I don't think everybody. No. You're taught, not that you learn.
Oh, all right. There you go.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, because I don't think that everybody learns that.
Yeah, definitely
to
not.
this day.
Definitely
thinking
not.
Before you speak. I just had to say that to an adult. We won't name names, but yeah, I just had to say that. Like, you don't have to say everything that comes to your mind.
Get a scenario. What happened? Why you said that?
It's a little too close to home. Huh?
Oh, all right. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a little too close to home. But I mean, I
Hold
threw her
up.
out
Say
there.
what you
But
just said. What did you say?
What?
What did you just say to her?
You don't have to say everything that you like. Everything that you think about doesn't have to come out of your mouth.
That's what you said. Those are the words you used.
I absolutely did.
Say it. Say it in the tone that you said it. Exactly how you said it to her.
I said, "Do you know that everything you think about doesn't have to come out of your mouth?" And she was like, "No, that's absolutely what I believe." She said, "I believe that I should be able to say whatever I think." Now,
see, the funny thing is how I'm hearing that. Like what you said to her was like so sarcastic. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to. And she didn't even, I don't know if
No,
she
was
didn't even
like-
catch it. She was like, no, I absolutely do have to.
Yeah, she said that. She was like, I honestly feel like I should be able to say whatever it
Yeah,
is
that's
that I want
crazy.
to, that comes to my mind. Like, she was
Yeah.
like, it's not like I be offending people. And I'm just like, but that's exactly what
That's exactly
what you
why.
be
That's
doing.
exactly why I just said that to you.
But she's so light. You probably know who I'm talking about. But she's so lighthearted and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually she's not like giving that most people,
Yeah.
don't be ready to fight her. So, be mindful. Oh no, speak directly. So I guess that means like no around the mulberry bush way of saying something. Like just say, like instead of saying,
I think people who don't do it for two reasons.
Yeah.
Well, one or of two reasons.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
One, either like they're soft, not soft. They might have a little bit of
Say how you really feel.
passivity and a weird. You're trying to deliver something soft. Like you don't want to be too brash with it. Like if you're too direct, because of how you feel, like you don't want to come off as that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, you're trying to consider this person's feelings. Because if you say something direct, you're like, man, that's gonna hurt their feelings, and I really don't want to do that.
Right. And I can be both.
Me too. It depends on who I'm talking to and what I'm saying.
And it also it depends on the hour. It depends on if I'm doing something. It depends on if I'm pissed. Different things. But some things I say, and it's just like, oh man, that was really mean. But then like me saying, you don't have to say, you know what I mean? Like you saying, like you felt like that was like really, really sarcastic. Mm-hmm. But to her, I really was like, do you know that? Because you always, you literally always say whatever's on your mind. Like it'll be something that because we work with so many different people, you don't know who's in the room. You don't know who could be offended by this.
Yeah.
And it's just certain things like you just said, like I'm just not going to say because I don't know what everybody's situation is.
And if you care about how you show up to the world,
that part.
You're saying if you're in a room with people, you don't know who's listening. How communication works with most people also is on first impressions. If you say something, not even directly to them, but if you say something that's offensive to them,
they're going to always remember that.
And they already have a reason to not like you.
Yep.
So regardless if you're a good person or not, or your intents behind what you said, regardless of your intent behind what you said, if it sounds offensive to them or they took offense to it, they automatically have something against you.
Right. And I feel like, I really don't feel like that's your business. Like if somebody cares or if somebody feels like they don't like you because of something that you said, right? It's not really like your business. But I'm glad that you said that because I didn't attend this. We used to go with my friends, my homegirls just always come to Chicago to visit me around the Christmas season. Like right after Christmas, they would come and then we would like carry into New Year's together, go to like a party. But we go to church first and then go like a party, the young girl stuff. So they went to this church called Trinity. I forgot the name of the church, but the one with what was his name? I can't remember his name. Anyway.
Yeah, I ain't gonna remember.
He preached a sermon about the things, like basically the impeccability of your word and things being true, nice, and necessary.
Yeah.
And that if it checks all the boxes, then that's okay for you to say, right? Mm-hmm. So some things are true.
Which I like. I like that.
But they're not nice or necessary. Some things are nice, but they aren't true or necessary. And some things are necessary, but they're not true or nice. So when you have something that checks all the boxes, then you're in there. It's worth saying. But that's not something that we always keep in mind.
Definitely not. And I remember you told me that, and it's
still in your head.
Nah, it slipped out.
It slipped out. Well, I mean, you was
true,
honest
nice,
about
and necessary.
It. Yeah, true, nice, and necessary. So
you know what's funny?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So nice is never in there, but most of the time I'm always thinking of
true and necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to operate in truth most of the time anyway, so that's like something that's automatic. Mm-hmm. But necessary, definitely. Nice, I'm not going to say I'm never thinking about it, but I think it depends on who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about it. But necessary is almost, Yeah, because I said a lot of things that were unnecessary.
Right.
It cost me a lot.
Yeah.
Even cost me some relationships.
Yeah,
So,
and in my research, I was finding that
and
a
they
lot
were
of people
true.
were talking about the person that you say it to, like all
Yeah.
of those things are factors to communicating, because it could be the right person, but it could be it could be the wrong time, or it could be the right information, but it could be the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like those things that you have to keep in mind. But I think if we keep those things in mind, then we would be able to grant grace a little bit better, because then we would realize that when a person talks to us and we're offended, you know what I mean? Like we should be able to grant that same grace. So the grace that we would expect is the grace that we should give.
Right.
Don't be speak directly. I said that one. Be mindful of your tone.
Ooh.
They said like, what is it, 90% of arguments are because of the way that somebody said it instead of what they said.
Yeah.
The way in which they said it.
That's true.
Bruh.
Yeah, because you can.
All facts.
If you yell at me,
eat the pizza.
it already almost doesn't matter what you're saying to me.
Eat the pizza. Eat the pizza.
See, I will receive that. Eat the pizza with a smile, even though you're probably bothered that.
But that could be sarcasm, or I mean, that could be sarcasm, or that could be.
But if he be like, "Man, eat the damn pizza,"
right?
I'm
Then
like,
you're
I don't
gonna.
even want this shit
I don't
no
even
more.
want this. Like what?
Yeah, I'm gonna be. No.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it is like, and then I think tone. I think tone and body language to me are major. Like I feel like tone is right up there with body language.
Yeah. It's not for me.
What? It's not tone is not?
Because I could see your body language and I can see like something's wrong. You might really be bothered by it. Mm-hmm. But you can speak like eloquently with a calm tone and everything. And even though I see that you're heated because your tone is mild, I'm recognizing what's going off in AJ's mind. Like,
is that foot still dropped back and the hands are still balled up?
Not at all.
What?
Because I'm talking about you, not a man.
Oh, okay.
Or even with a man. So like, even with, put it like this. So I'm thinking of Jason Wilson since you said that. Mm-hmm. Jason Wilson, the guy that teaches the boys composure and everything through like I want to say Taekwondo. I can't remember what it is though. Mm-hmm. Jiu-jitsu, one of them. But he's doing the martial arts. He's teaching the boys manhood and everything through martial arts. But he teaches them how to be assertive without being aggressive. Mm-hmm. And so even still, if you feel threatened, you can drop that foot back. Because you're still protecting yourself. But when you listen to how he speaks and how he communicates, his tone and the words, his choice of words, they disarm you.
Okay.
So your foot will come back forward. You could square your shoulders back up and everything. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I might can see that you're tense. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Darah. Uh-huh. But how you communicate, like things that you say out of your mouth and everything, it'll calm me back. It could calm me back down.
Okay. And so what are you saying would be?
I'm saying you because I know you know how to do that.
Oh, okay.
But not everybody knows how to do that. Like when people tense up or when people get bothered, their body shows it and their tone shows it. Mm-hmm. But I know you, like I haven't, I'm not saying you haven't. I'm pretty sure you done yelled in arguments with your boyfriends or whoever.
I'm not a yeller.
Well, see, so good. So I've never seen you yell and you've never yelled at me.
Right.
And so it allows my response to you to not be one of aggression or really, you make it hard for me to take offense to things.
Mm-hmm. But even like, okay.
Even though you might say something that's sharp, it's still, because it's you and how you communicate, it's hard for me to take offense to it.
Gotcha.
Instead, it makes me consider, like how you communicate makes me consider what you're saying rather than take offense. I know I need to work on that because when I speak to people, I know it cuts more and it's, I don't know how. I'm not gonna say I don't know how to. I'm learning how. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I administer a lot of grace with my words, but a lot of times, especially because I deal with men and hard men, it cuts more, and so they will take offense to it, and I'll end up saying something like, "Be a man and deal with it. Mm-hmm. If you want to grow, this is what it's gonna take." And a lot of men take it. A lot of men don't. Yeah. But how you minister words and everything, it allows me to keep my guard down, and just consider like, dang, is what she's saying Real? Maybe I do need to work on this.
Yeah. But it's some people, I mean, it's some guys, I'm like, I mean, I'm honestly like this with.
Yeah.
But it's their posture. It's their, you know what I mean? Like, I'm actually, so have you ever heard anybody say, I'm matching energies?
Yeah, I hate that.
Yes. So, but that's a real thing though.
Oh, it
And some
definitely
people
is.
don't know
I've done
the
it
energy.
before.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people don't know the energy that they bring into a room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not to say that in every room that I come in, I'm bringing the light and the, you know, boom, boom, boom. But that's what I've heard people tell me. Right.
Yeah.
So when I come into a room, I'm not, my first thing isn't, who the hell up in here? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My first thing is, oh, okay, good morning. You know what I mean? Like on some like very light, you know. But when you give me a thing, sometimes it's not always though. But sometimes I'm gonna match what you giving me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
not saying I don't. I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
I hate it though.
Yeah.
And and God always would check me after. Like if somebody gets spicy with me,
Right, you're gonna give them that 2 piece.
I know how to get spicy back.
Mm-hmm.
And God would hit me up like, come on, man. What was that?
And sometimes people are unaware of the fact that like, and this is something that I'm very aware of. Sometimes people are unaware of the fact that just because they're giving me one thing and I give them a different tone, it doesn't mean that I'm, you know, like I can be very, I can.
You sharp with your words too.
Yes,
just with
I can slice them.
Yeah.
But without giving that aggression.
Yeah.
Or without giving that like doom. I'm just like.
But that's why a lot of people, I'm not gonna say not hurt, but that it won't warrant like a vicious response as if you were to yell at them.
Right.
And
of
cut
course.
them.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. I got you. Okay. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
You have to want to ask questions. So that's what I'm saying. When you're hearing, you have to intentionally recognize this about yourself. If you hear something and it offends you and your response is to go back at it, you have to intentionally know like this is what I'm doing. Rather let me ask questions like, well, what did you mean when you said that?
Yes.
Like, or is this what you're saying?
Before I get mad.
Don't even do that. That's
I'm just playing.
Yeah. Because you got some people that's like get mad.
Right, yeah.
Like what you mean before you get mad? What you gonna do?
Right. What you gonna really?
Which is ineffective communication. I mean, it's effective because they understand where you coming from now, but it's ineffective if you want to do better.
I don't say that.
If you want to
before I get mad, I just be like, so what did you mean by?
I've said it before.
Well, before I get mad.
Yeah.
Was you already mad?
To myself.
Was you already mad though when you said before I get mad?
No, I was probably irritated.
Oh. It's probably kind of the same thing. Kind of the same.
No,
same boat.
Not for me. Irritated him, nah. Yeah.
It's like it's a pinch more.
Irritated him, nah.
I could
if I could tolerate you if you irritate me. If you make me mad, I can't.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't pass judgment.
Elaborate. Go ahead.
So
you were smiling with that one. Why?
Because I think that people be mad because they don't feel like you need to be thinking anything different than what they feel. Like I hear a lot of like I work in a barbershop. Everybody knows this. Mm-hmm. And we literally had a conversation just this Friday about how one of my clients told me that his mother or his father said don't ever have a conversation about 2 different topics. No, 3. He said 3. He said sports, religion, or politics. He said because everybody has their opinion. And I just got really quiet and he noticed. See, people, like a lot of people who know me, they like, I've heard that they say that when I'm not talking, it bothers them more than when I am. But it's not like I'm not talking to them. They just know that like that sort of pensive, like, you know what I mean? Thought-provoking way of me being is, or it means it's like really loud to them.
Yes.
You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's excuse me. It's because you don't understand who you are, and you don't understand your effect on people, just your person. So because you're such a considerate and loving person, and that's what people are used to, and you converse with people, you talk all day with your clients and everything. People let their hair down with you. So when it's not even the fact that you're not talking. It's the fact that they think you're bothered. And so you don't, when you have so much like love and respect and reverence for somebody, like when they're bothered and you feel like it's because of you, of course it's going to make them feel a certain type of way.
Got it. Okay. So that, I mean, you just broke something down to me. And maybe that's something that they tried to say, but I wasn't able to receive it today. But I just got quiet. And there were a number of reasons why I got quiet. But the real reason why I got quiet was because in my mind's eye, I don't feel like anything is necessarily off the table because you can't talk about it. I believe that the issue is that people think that you're supposed to agree with them in everything that they say, and that's not the case.
Why you ain't communicate that with them?
Well, a number of reasons. That's why I say it was a number of reasons why I didn't, you know. One, it was a lot of people over talking each other. I don't do that because nobody hears anybody.
I don't like that either.
Yeah. So if I interjected, if I said what I had to say, I don't know that it would have fallen anywhere. So if you're listening, here we go. Second, there was a toddler in my chair. I have to pay attention to this toddler because everybody is trying to prove their point.
Right.
He's moving. He wants to grab my clippers, So I have to pay attention to him. So that's me multitasking there. And then I felt like because I had an opposing view and because they were so convinced that whatever they were saying was right, I felt like
your piece was better than your point. You wanted your piece more than you wanted your point.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that important. Like I'm okay with, and that's why I'm able to have conversations about religion, politics, and sports. Because whatever it is that you believe about a politic, whatever you believe about sports, whatever you believe about religion, is the way that you believe. Thank you for sharing. I don't have to be offended.
And I don't have to agree.
And I don't have to agree. Like I'm not, like even those people who be like, I'm going to stop you there because da-da-da. Like, how are you? That's not effective communication. I'm
going to stop you there.
Yeah. Like, I'm not even listening.
You control my voice.
This is right.
You control what I'm going to do, what I'm going to say.
Yes. I've had people shut me down before. You know what I mean? Like, you should, just stop. Okay. Like, you're lying or that's not what you believe or that's stupid or that's dumb. I think that is the most ineffective way of communicating with anybody. You're never, and it's not, you don't communicate just so that you can agree. Like when I talk to you, every time I talk to you is not because I need AJ to agree with me. Sometimes I just want you to know what's on my mind. How can I have peace in knowing what is on, your mind and you having, understanding of what's on mine. That's that. Have a nice day. But we feel like, that's demonic. Like something that we literally don't understand. Never sat down with anybody to talk about it. We will push them away.
Especially you saying something like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now, when you say things like that, it's nothing. They're automatically not about to receive what's going to
not at all
come post.
Because you've placed up this huge barrier, this huge wall. And again, it's not to say that this is not something that I've ever done. I'm just speaking on the way in which it makes me feel and how I don't like that behavior. So it's almost like instantaneously, I'm like, when I'm having a conversation that's making me uncomfortable, sometimes, I'll keep allowing that person to elaborate, even if I don't agree, because I feel like there's something there or there's something that needs to be communicated. Or I'll be like, You know what I mean? Like they'll be going off the deep end. I'm talking about like deep. Right?
Are you looking for something to grab on?
No.
So you just let them get it out. It's gonna be what it is. Like I'm never gonna agree.
Life is not about you.
Yeah.
It's not about when people sit in my chair and they tell me about how they cheating on, all that stuff. Of course I can, because you've opened a door, right? You've said it to me. I can tell you how I feel, but to shut you down, like, no, you don't get to, you know what I mean? That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm not here to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm literally here so that you can communicate a thing. You want me to know this because you opened your mouth. But we're never satisfied with it.
But what do you want me to do with it?
Sometimes you have to ask yourself that too. So if it's one of those situations where I don't, like, people usually get, again, like you said, that body language, the tone. There are times when I'm really not that interested.
Yeah.
So some people don't even notice the cues. They'll keep talking. But there are some people who it'll just like, then we'll start talking about something else.
Yeah. I just experienced this yesterday and the day before at my job. I was working overtime, and the dudes was talking about, this one dude was talking about, people that know me, they know how I feel about baby mamas, child support, children, all this. I feel like whatever kind of baby mama drama you got, it's your fault. The man, everybody know I feel like that. It's the man's fault but simply because of where I stand with my foundation. You should have you made her a mother before you made her a wife. So I'm not talking about people that got divorced and on child support. I'm talking about people that got baby mamas and you on child support and you can't stand your baby mama and now your relationship with your child messed up, such and such. Right. I feel like you made her a mother without making her a wife. So whatever comes after that is a result of your sin. Yeah. So everybody that knows me know that that's where I stand, right? Some of the people that I work with, they don't know me to that extent. We never really had those deep conversations. They never really see me outside of work. And so I'm hearing them all talk about and complaining about their baby mothers and child support and how this B is wicked, this and that, such and such, right? And so instead of me, like, ask myself, like, what do you want me to do with this information you're telling me? Instead of me, like, telling them how I feel about it, I was doing the same thing. I just sit there and listen. Yeah. Because I know there's gonna come a time where I'm going to minister some manhood stuff to them. But I also know, like, in the midst of all these people while they're having the conversation, like, this ain't the time.
And then I challenge you that most of the time when people do learn a lesson from you, it doesn't come out of your mouth. It comes from your doing. It comes from you showing them that there's a different way. It doesn't come from you saying, because this is my problem. And maybe this is what the TikTokers feel or whatever.
The TikTokers.
Because this show is based off of our opinion, things that we've researched. We're gathering the pieces, boom, boom, boom. We hope that you enjoy. But the thing is, we don't feel like our opinions are bigger or better or badder than anybody else's.
But if you ask me mine,
then I'm going to give it to you.
And don't get mad.
Exactly. But here's the thing, though. People place way too much emphasis on their opinion, thinking that everybody else got to feel the same way they do. That's really the problem. And then your opinion is not necessary. See, the thing about a podcast, people who feel like we be trying to be experts, you can turn it off if you don't like it.
That's what they say. Everybody shouldn't have podcasts. Well, you don't have to listen to all of them either.
You do not. You literally can go to something else. I welcome you to do it, because here's the thing. This is your life. You don't got to spend a whole lot of time on me.
Nope.
Not at all. It's your life.
You ain't got to listen to what I'm saying.
You don't. But that's the humility that we often have to have. Your opinion is not always needed.
Yeah.
When I say something to you, I might come in and just be like, oh, I just want to snatch my boss bald. Like, I just want to, I can't stand that hoe. Like talking, and you might be like, well, I really don't think that you should not like her because, you are the one that comes in late every day and all this other stuff. That I didn't even need your opinion. Thank you, though.
All right, but check this.
I did bring it to you. The door is open, but it does not have to be a situation where we always feel like we have to lend our opinions. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
But part of communication is knowing who you're talking to, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So the people, like, if I'm taking it to this person and I know they're going to have a. Yeah. So who's really, not to say wrong or right.
No, nobody. That's why I say the grace is the for real home base. Grace is home base.
What if I just ask you a question like, so are you venting to me, or like what's going on right here? Because I have something to say. Should I say it?
I do that. I do.
No, I'm like, you want to hear my response?
Yeah. You want my opinion, or you just kind of like want to just get that out? Because some people just want to get it out.
Because they already know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, they do. Because you're gonna hold them accountable.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with accountability. But again, when you play, I don't have to live my life like the way you think I'm supposed to live it. I don't think I have to check myself on that, though.
Oh, if you oppose me to, I let it go too.
Yeah.
So like.
But this is what I wanted to do. Okay.
Like, was you? I'm like, did you
Cool.
do what they said you did? Yeah.
Okay then.
So would you? Why you coming here tripping then?
No, I was like, oh, you just want to trip then. Oh, okay.
Hey,
Be you. Let it have.
oh, she ain't have to respond like that. Oh, all right, my guy.
Right.
Try it. Do the same thing tomorrow. See how it work out.
That's it.
Yeah.
And if you do it, it's not gonna, no skin off my teeth.
It's gonna be
Have a
skin off
great
yours
day.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to you.
If skin has
Lastly,
If teeth have skin.
oh no, that was it. Because I kind of like skipped all over. If teeth have skin, some people do have skin on their teeth. Woo! Make sure you floss. So that was it. That's all I had.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I got something might go a little. Well, this has to do with communication, right?
Okay.
What I don't like
Mm-hmm.
is when people tell me how I feel or what I'm saying. Nah, I hate when people tell me how I feel or what I think because they think that way or they feel that way
Give
or they
us an
think that they will.
example.
So, you know how people like, oh, you mad? Like, nah, I ain't mad.
Oh, okay.
You are
Yes,
mad
you are.
because
Yeah, you mad. Look at them
because
shoulders.
you
Them
would have been
shoulders
mad
high.
if you was in that situation or so how you're perceiving it. And then I'm not angry, but you about to make me angry.
Yes.
Like,
By
because you keep
continually poking the bear.
yeah. So understand. Like, I don't respond. I don't feel like you feel. I don't think like you think. So why not just ask me? Like, get to the core of how I'm really feeling or anything.
Exactly.
Like, don't look at me and be like, oh, he mad.
Right.
Like,
You are mad.
That's what
yes,
I'm saying.
you
People
are.
automatically think like I'm angry when they see me.
Yeah.
And they already make their judgment. What you said, don't pass judgment. They already make their judgment. You know what? That's why I don't know how you did what you did
With
me.
with
Like,
with
with-
our
with
with
breaking
when
through
we
with
first
me.
started
Yeah.
communicating. I'm not about to sit here and act like I'm an angel and like it was easy. Like it was sometimes I had to put my phone down.
I'm just saying, like, why?
Why did I keep talking to you?
Yeah.
Because I cared.
Oh.
But sometimes I had to put my phone down and just pray, like, Lord, do something about this boy because this is not good.
Don't be trying to make me look bad in front of all these people.
No, I'm not trying to make you look bad.
it's like, no, I'm
I mean,
messing
I
with
feel
you.
like we all got those
No, I'm
times
messing
like
with you. Yeah.
where you just gotta like for real, like here, Lord, he's yours. Like I can't do anything about this, and there's nothing that I'm going to be able to respond
Yeah.
with that's going to help this man. Because I would go back. Remember, I would say certain things to you like, no,
I don't remember.
God loves you. You'd be like, I mean, I know that, but I want to get that nigga. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. You can be very like you are.
Yeah, I
one thing
know.
about you are very strong-willed. That's one thing about you, and I don't
That's
think
my
it comes
strength.
off the same way from me, but I am as well.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I'll wait it out. You gotta go like, I'll be like,
What's that?
That's shooting. Like,
I ain't shooting nothing.
yes, you will.
What the hell you doing? You know I'm in
Not
the
with-
fire department. I'm just,
No, not with actual guns, people. Like, come on.
right,
I'm talking
yeah.
about like, that you're more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach the situation. I'm gonna go smack at it.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas I'm like, I'll wait it out and make sure I'm in. And, I'm kind of like on a double dutch
Yeah.
tip. You're like, I'm just, boom. I'm gonna just keep going at it. And like you
Yeah.
said, that's one of your superpowers is doing the difficult thing.
yeah, because I don't
Me?
like wait. I feel like I'm suffering if I gotta wait it out or something.
Right. And
I
that's
don't like
that is something that I notice about
Yeah.
myself is I will suffer. And that's not something that I'm proud of. But I will suffer for a bit just to make sure that it's the correct time to have the conversation instead of me just being like, I want this now. We have to solve this now.
Yeah.
So, because obviously I want to deal with things, sooner than later. But I think
No,
it's the time.
I do that sometimes, but I go into prayer about it a lot.
And
Like,
some things,
God, I don't want to move too soon or something or whatever. Like, you show me.
right.
You
And
give me
tell
the
if
words
this
and you tell me
happens
when.
to you. Right. That part.
Mm-hmm.
Because tell me if this happens to you. When I need to say something to somebody, I can't do nothing else. If God want me to say it, like I can't. I
Yeah,
be
the
thinking
fire be
about what I'm
burning
supposed-
up in my chest.
Man,
Yeah.
what I be thinking about it, I cannot. Like I'll be trying to like rest, and I can see the text message in my head, or like their number or their name will keep coming up, or I'll see their faces.
Mm-hmm.
It is the worst thing ever because I'd be like, no, like I don't want to. Like this is, it happened to me recently. There's a person who I was like, I really, honestly, I don't want to text her. I don't want to hit her up. Like, I realize that where I am in life, she is not there. Wherever the case might be, you know, love her, respect her, boom, 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 boom. I don't want to do it. Like, to the point where I was scrolling through my phone, like, somebody please text me right now or call me right now so I can be disobedient because I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And
Did
nobody
you do it?
called. Yes, I did.
How did it turn out?
It turned out fine because I did it because that's what God wanted me to do. So it was kind of like he wanted me to just put it out there and then let it go. Like, I surrendered it immediately after I did it. I didn't have to say anything more. Yeah. It was what it was. Like, you know how it is. You know how I feel. You know that life is short. You feel me? Like, but I did not. My pride was like,
yeah,
you'll be all right, you know? But it's like, it's more than that, though. It's not about you, Darah.
Yeah. I don't think I have, like, that. Like, I don't have the, I won't, well, that's a lie. So, when the times where I have the, I don't get rest, like, I won't get rest unless I speak to this person, more often than not, it's times where, like, God might give me a word for somebody. He might tell me something, a message to give to somebody, and then he won't let that leave my mind. Or he won't. He'll keep reminding me. But when it's like something that has to deal with like apologies or confrontation or anything like that, I have to go to God and be like, God, I do not want to respond in my emotions. I'm trying to respond in a way that it's not going to sound like I'm attacking this person or offensive or this and that. And sometimes he don't even give me nothing back.
Right.
Sometimes it's just I gotta calm down, so I might wait a couple hours, wait a day or something before I do this. But a lot of times I'm just like you said, like I wanna address this, especially if I'm not mad. If it's a problem but I'm not mad, let's just address this now. We could talk about this now, or we could do whatever we gotta do
right now.
Yeah, ain't no point. I don't like having that gray cloud.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I actually wish that I was a little bit better about that. Just go ahead and like whatever, because wherever the chips fall, like if it happens, that's what I want. Huh?
I said you would have had me food.
What?
Because the Darah I know be having the conversations.
Oh no, I have them, but sometimes I rest on them a little longer than I should.
Oh yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have a difficult conversation, but sometimes it needed to happen on Tuesday, and I'll have it on Thursday.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. So. Anything more to add?
So you was talking about grace. You kept talking about grace.
Yes.
So the last thing I wanted to say is our communication, and I know this is not, everybody might not agree, and everybody might not know how to do this, but this is why I'm saying this, so we can learn how to do this, because it's something that we should consider heavily. And that's when you're communicating, you have to learn to communicate through love.
Yes.
Let it be filtered through love. Because when you're saying I want to communicate through love, I want all of my actions and communications to be filtered through love, then you'll start considering how is this person receiving what I'm saying. Then you'll start considering, am I listening with a receptive ear, not to be offended, but to just really understand what this person is telling me. Right. Then you'll start to consider, maybe I am what this person is saying, and they're not saying it to beat me up. They're saying it because they love me, and maybe I just do need to work on correcting this part of me or something. Or even if they are saying it to beat me up, if you're listening through love, because love will correct whether it hits hard or not. Yep. Like if somebody says, man, you an arrogant little buster, even if they're saying it in a way that they don't like me,
that's something that you take.
Yeah, because you still could be like, you still can consider like, damn, I know this dude I know he don't rock with me, but is what he's saying true? Yeah. But
take a look inside.
But that's only when you filter things through love, because if you filter it through love and it's not true, it'll just fall to the wayside. Like, you know what? This dude just angry. He just spitting. He just bumping his gums. I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah. Yeah. And you was saying something earlier, and it made me think of scripture. It says a soft answer, when I was talking about how you might be mad, but you don't yell and you still deliver with grace. A soft answer turns away wrath. That's scripture. So even when somebody...
Is that Proverbs?
I can't remember. I don't be remembering addresses. The word is just written on my heart.
There it is.
Yeah.
Say less.
Yes, it's a soft. It probably is. It sounds like a proverb. I don't know.
Does. That's why I said it. It sounds like Proverbs.
But yeah, a soft answer turns away wrath, and it's true. Like a lot of times when people are rah 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 and everything, and you don't match that energy, I think that's one of the principles of not matching the energy. That's one of the principles of love.
Yeah.
Like that's part of one of the systems. That's what Mo was teaching on today too. That's one of the systems that God set up of love. Like if somebody's coming at you all rah rah, and you like, brother, man, it ain't even like that, my man. Mm-hmm. Like look here, I'm not your enemy. Like I ain't got nothing but love for my brother. That'll turn away. That'll calm a person down. You know, when you speak,
especially when it's genuine.
Especially when
it's we've heard that.
But that's when you're supposed. That's why I said everything has to be filtered through love. You have to be intentional about the love in you.
Yeah. Facts. Okay, that was good. Thanks for the input. All right.
Let's get to the job.
You
should start opening the job for me. And present it to me. I don't want that one to be. I see the one I want. I can't get it.
So you want me to open a jar and present it to you?
Yes. Healthy arguing. What is it, and how do you do it?
Ooh.
This is a form of communication. This is what's funny. Like, I had that. I'm glad I did. I'm glad we didn't say it. But I had that in my notes, like, for the communication, like, arguing. Like, that was going. I wanted to hit on that. So, I guess God knew what he was doing. We didn't. So now we're going to be talking about this next episode.
Always knows what he's
Healthy arguing. What is it, and how do you do it?
Cool. So we got the next topic. Hit us up. Deep Skydiving Podcast at gmail.com. Any questions, comments, concerns, whatever the case. If you want to tell us that we're not therapists. I'm just being petty.
Just write it in the comments like you've been doing.
Yeah, I'm just being petty at this point. This is what I do. What is the Deep Skydiving Podcast on TikTok? Deep Skydiving Podcast on Instagram. And you can listen to us on literally any podcast platform.
Yes. Wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Yes. We appreciate you tuning in always. Thank you so much for the love and support. And we will see you in another week. In the meantime.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Make it work.